Jalen's hands were steady on the control panel as the orbital station hummed around him. The city above the blue-green planet glimmered like a crown of light in the darkness of space. Orbital traffic was usually predictable. A careful ballet of cargo freighters, diplomats' vessels, and maintenance drones. But today, something in the air felt different, though he couldn't put a finger on it. He adjusted the display and leaned forward. "Incoming docking request. Alpha 7, he muttered. The request came from a vessel he had never seen before, sleek and unfamiliar, painted in colors he didn't recognize. A diplomatic ship, he guessed. The interstellar authorities rarely allowed unknown ships into the orbit without prior clearance. Alpha 7, identify yourself, Jalen called over the comm system, trying to keep his tone professional. There was a pause. Then a soft, melodic voice answered, with a slight lilt that was clearly not human. "I am Lyra, envoy of the Sirene Alliance. Requesting permission to dock." The name meant nothing to Jalen, but the calm confidence in her voice stirred something in him. He allowed the docking, following all protocol. Still, he couldn't shake a strange sense of anticipation. The docking was tricky. The station had been built for humans, not for the alien curves of Lyra's ship. Jalen guided the vessel carefully, his heart thumping as the hull brushed the outer ring of the station. Sweat formed along his hairline. Then, as he watched the docking clamps extend, something happened that he would never forget. Her helmet slipped. It fell backward, just for a moment, revealing her face. Jalen froze, staring at the delicate features, the luminous eyes that seemed to shimmer with stars. For a heartbeat, the hum of the station, the flashing control lights, the cold of space, it all disappeared. He barely noticed her, calling out to him, asking if she was safely docked. She smiled, a small, warm smile that seemed impossible in this metallic environment. And in that instant, Jalen decided he would defy every rule, every law, every protocol, if it meant being with her. "Docking complete," he said finally, his voice steadier than he felt. He gestured for the airlock to open. Lyra floated toward him gracefully, her movements smooth and precise, unlike any human he had seen. She moved as if the vacuum of space was second nature to her, yet her eyes never left his. "Thank you," she said softly, bowing her head. "Your assistance was appreciated." "You're welcome," Jalen replied, fumbling for something more to say. He caught himself before blurting out anything foolish, but his mind raced. "She's real. She exists. And I'm going to do everything I can to know her better." The airlock hissed as it cycled, the pressure equalizing. Jalen guided her to the docking bay, ensuring she didn't hit any of the exposed conduits. He noticed the faint markings on her suit, symbols of her alliance, and wondered about the culture she came from. Every instinct in him screamed to know more, but he had to tread carefully. Humanity and Sirene laws forbade unauthorized closeness between species, and violations could mean imprisonment or worse. Yet the moment he had seen her face, he felt as if every law was suddenly meaningless. They spoke briefly as they walked. Lyra asked questions about human engineering and the orbital city, and Jalen answered, doing his best to stay professional. But inside, his thoughts were anything but. When they reached the command deck, Jalen gestured for her to float beside him. "I assume your systems are compatible with ours?" he asked. "Yes," Lyra replied. "Mostly. There are adjustments I will make later." As she worked, Jalen watched her. Every movement was precise, yet effortless. He noticed a small scar along her wrist, something that told a story she had not shared. He wanted to ask about it, but he didn't. Some things, he realized, were best revealed slowly. Minutes passed, then hours, as they ran checks and calibrated her ship. Jalen felt a connection growing, subtle but undeniable. He caught himself imagining a future where they could walk together, side by side, across planets, moons, and stars. A future where laws didn't matter, where human and serene hearts could coexist freely. Suddenly, the comm alarm blinked red. Meteor storm approaching, the system warned. Projected impact in 30 minutes. Jalen's mind went cold. A storm of space debris could destroy both the orbital station and Lyra's ship if they weren't careful. He glanced at her. "We'll have to move quickly," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. Lyra nodded, her luminous eyes steady. "I trust your judgment." Human. The next half hour became a blur. Jalen coordinated emergency maneuvers, while Lyra adjusted her ship's shields. Together, they worked seamlessly, their differences disappearing in the face of danger. Meteors grazed the station's outer rings, sparks flying from minor collisions. The lights flickered. Jalen felt his heart race not from fear, but from exhilaration. There was something intoxicating about facing danger side by side with someone who trusted him completely. Finally, the storm passed, leaving only debris scattered in orbit. Jalen slumped in his chair, catching his breath. Lyra floated toward him, unscathed, and offered a faint smile. "That was impressive," she said. "We make a good team," Jalen admitted. He didn't care that it sounded forward. He couldn't hide his admiration. Lyra tilted her head. "Perhaps. Though teamwork does not usually lead to attachment. You, humans, are unpredictable." Jalen chuckled, though it was nervous. "Maybe unpredictability is our strength." There was a silence, comfortable and charged, as both of them drifted in the weightless chamber. He wanted to say so much more how he felt, what he was beginning to feel, but he knew it would be reckless. Still, he resolved silently that he would find a way. The orbital authorities soon contacted him, asking for a report. Jalen complied, carefully leaving out personal details. He had learned the art of obedience long ago, but obedience had its limits, he realized. And that limit had just been tested by a single moment. A helmet slipping and revealing a face that changed everything. As Lyra prepared to leave, she looked at him once more. "Your help will not be forgotten, human. Perhaps we will meet again." Jalen wanted to grab her hand, to tell her he wouldn't let laws or distance come between them. But he didn't. Not yet. Instead, he simply nodded. As the shuttle doors sealed, he whispered to himself, "I will find a way, no matter what." He returned to his station. But the world felt different. The lights of the city above seemed brighter, the stars sharper. Even the hum of the station had a rhythm now, like it understood his new purpose. Every protocol, every regulation, every law that had bound him felt suddenly insufficient. That night, as he floated in his cabin, staring at the planet below, Jalen realized something profound. Humanity had always survived through courage, ingenuity, and the refusal to accept the impossible. And now, he would embody that principle not for survival, but for love. His mind replayed the moment over and over, the way her eyes caught the light, the way her calm confidence had steadied him, the small scar that hinted at unseen struggles. He had seen many wonders in his life, traveled to countless orbital cities and remote moons, but nothing had ever struck him like this. And deep down, he knew that whatever came next, laws, consequences, or alien politics, he would not turn away. He would find her again. He would defy the rules, if he had to. He would prove that human courage and ingenuity could overcome any obstacle. In the darkness of space, with only the hum of the station and the distant glimmer of stars, Jalen made a silent vow. Her helmet dropped, and in that moment, I decided I'd defy every law to marry her. The night passed slowly, yet filled with anticipation. Jalen knew the universe was vast, filled with unknown dangers and impossibilities, but for the first time, he felt a certainty that burned brighter than any star. He would cross galaxies, outwit authorities, and challenge the boundaries of law and custom, all for her. And so, Part 1 closed not with an ending, but with a beginning, a quiet, powerful start of a story that would span worlds and test the limits of humanity itself. The meteor storm had passed, but the damage it left behind was significant. Sparks flickered across the station's outer rings. Alarms sounded intermittently, and the usual hum of orbital traffic was replaced by tense silence. Jalen moved swiftly through the control deck, his mind focused on repairs, calculations, and survival. Yet beneath all that, one thought never left him. Lyra. He replayed her face in his mind, the moment her helmet had fallen, the shimmer in her eyes, the calm confidence that had steadied him during the storm. Every time he thought of her, a surge of determination grew within him. A determination to see her again, to protect her, to defy every law if necessary. Lyra's ship remained docked, and the orbital authorities had started sending inspection teams. Jalen knew that her presence here was technically illegal without the proper permits, and now the storm made their situation even more precarious. If anyone discovered the bond forming between them, there could be severe consequences for both humans and Sirane. But Jalen didn't care. Not anymore. He approached the docking bay where Lyra worked, carefully adjusting the shielding on her vessel. "Everything all right?" he asked. Lyra glanced at him, her eyes calm and measured. Jalen nodded. "We'll fix it as fast as we can. I'll make sure you leave safely." For hours, they worked side by side, floating in the weightless chamber. Their hands sometimes brushing as they passed tools or adjusted circuits. Each contact sent an unspoken signal, a connection neither dared fully name yet. Every glance, every small smile, every shared calculation deepened the bond Jalen felt, making the risk of punishment feel worth it. Then the comm system buzzed. "Attention, Officer Jalen. You are required immediately at Central Command. Unauthorized cooperation with alien vessels must be reported." Jalen's stomach sank. He knew what this meant. They had noticed. They had seen him work alongside Lyra. And now, the law was coming for them. Lyra floated beside him, sensing his tension. "Do you need to comply?" she asked softly. Jalen shook his head. "If I go now, they might separate us. I can't let that happen. Not yet." He had made up his mind. He would find a way to protect her. He would defy the law, even if it meant risking everything he had worked for in his life. The first step was planning. Jalen returned to the control deck and began analyzing the orbital security network. He had spent years maintaining these systems, understanding every sensor, every patrol route, every loophole. Now, he needed that knowledge to give them a chance at freedom. Lyra watched him work, her luminous eyes reflecting the flickering screens. "You humans, you think quickly under pressure," she said. Jalen smiled faintly, still focused. "It's survival instinct. And right now, surviving means keeping you safe." For the next several hours, they plotted. Jalen marked patrol schedules, system blind spots, and potential escape routes. Lyra offered insights about Sirane technology, helping him find weaknesses in orbital security protocols. The two of them, from entirely different worlds, worked as a single unit. By midnight, a plan was forming. They would leave the station under the cover of darkness, using a maintenance shuttle as their vessel. Jalen had rigged a temporary bypass in the security system, enough to mask their departure just long enough to reach the shuttle. It was risky, dangerous even, but it was the only way. "You are sure about this?" Lyra asked. Jalen looked at her, eyes steady. "I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Come with me. Trust me." She hesitated for a moment, then nodded. The shuttle bay was cold and silent as they prepared for departure. Jalen guided Lyra through the systems, ensuring the ship was ready for liftoff. Every move had to be precise. One mistake, one alert, and their freedom would be gone before it began. The countdown began. Jalen's heart raced, but his hands were steady. Lyra floated beside him, monitoring systems, her trust in him unwavering. The hatch sealed. Engines roared to life. The shuttle lifted from the bay, slowly at first, then faster, propelled by raw human ingenuity and sheer determination. As they rose into orbit, the station's alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed across the control deck. Jalen had expected this. It was part of the plan. He activated the temporary bypass, routing signals through maintenance grids, confusing the sensors. For a few tense minutes, they were invisible to the authorities. "Almost there," Jalen muttered, gripping the controls. Lyra's eyes shone, reflecting both excitement and fear. "You are remarkable," she said. "I have not seen courage like this. Not in all my years." Jalen allowed himself a small smile. It's human nature to fight for what matters. Jalen allowed himself ever. It's human nature, and what mattered now was her. Once free from the station's immediate orbit, the vastness of space opened before them. Stars stretched endlessly, distant planets glowing like tiny jewels. The freedom was intoxicating, but they were not safe yet. Orbital patrols would pursue them if they detected the unauthorized departure. Jalen kept the shuttle low and fast, using asteroid belts and space debris for cover. Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by updates on patrol movements. Every alert sent their hearts racing, but every time they avoided detection, a quiet thrill of triumph filled the cabin. For the first time, Jalen felt a complete partnership with another being, an equal who matched his courage, his intellect, and his determination. Lyra broke the silence. "You are different from other humans," she said. "Other species often follow rules without question, but you challenge them when necessary." Jalen glanced at her, smiling faintly. "Sometimes, rules are meant to be broken, especially when they prevent what's right." Lyra looked out at the stars, contemplative. "Perhaps that is why I am drawn to you. Your mind, your courage. You are like nothing I have known." Jalen's chest tightened. He wanted to say so much more, to tell her that seeing her face had changed his life, that he would do anything to keep her close. But words failed him. Instead, he simply reached out, and their hands brushed for the first time, weightless in the shuttle. The contact was electric. A connection formed, unspoken but undeniable. Jalen realized, more firmly than ever, that he would not let anything, laws, patrols, or political consequences come between them. The next challenge came quickly. Sensors detected a Sirene patrol vessel approaching. It moved with precision, faster than Jalen's shuttle could outrun in open space. There was only one option: ingenuity. Jalen scanned the asteroid field ahead. "We'll have to weave through the debris," he said. "It's risky, but it's our best chance." Lyra nodded, trusting his judgment. Together, they navigated the field, twisting and turning through massive chunks of rock and ice. The patrol fired warning beams, but Jalen's calculations were perfect. Their shuttle dodged every attack, weaving like a predator through the jagged field. Finally, they emerged unscathed on the other side. Both were breathless, hearts pounding, yet exhilarated. Lyra looked at Jalen with awe. I have never seen such skill. You are extraordinary, human." Jalen smiled, his chest swelling with pride. She laughed softly, a sound he could not forget. "Your stubbornness may save us both." By dawn, they had reached a distant, uncharted moon. Its surface glowed faintly under the light of the planet above. Jalen guided the shuttle to a safe landing site, far from prying eyes. They had escaped. At least for now. As they floated out of the shuttle, Lyra turned to him. Jalen looked up at the stars. Then, at her. His resolve clear. "Long enough," he said. "And if anyone comes after us, we'll outsmart them. Together." Lyra's eyes shone with trust and admiration. "Then I am with you, human." Jalen felt a surge of emotion. A mix of relief, pride, and love. This was more than survival. It was a partnership forged in danger, trust, and defiance. Humanity had always triumphed through courage, ingenuity, and daring. And now he realized that these qualities had brought him Lyra. He made another silent vow. No law, no patrol, no obstacle will ever separate us again. I will marry her, no matter what the universe demands. The first light of the alien planet stretched across the horizon, casting golden hues over rocky terrain. For the first time in his life, Jalen felt truly free, not just from orbital laws or regulations, but from the fear that had always held him back. With Lyra by his side, he felt unstoppable. And so, their journey continued, not merely to survive, but to thrive, to challenge rules, to defy expectation, and to prove that human courage, ingenuity, and heart could shape the universe itself. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, welcoming them into a future neither law nor fear could dictate. The uncharted moon was quiet, almost untouched by time. Craggy hills stretched beneath alien skies, and faint glimmers of the distant planet above lit the rocky terrain. Jalen and Lyra had made a small camp near a sheltered canyon, their shuttle hidden among jagged rocks. For the first time since their daring escape, they had a moment to breathe, to think. Jalen floated near the observation panel he had quickly rigged to track orbital traffic. "We're still safe, at least for now," he said. But his mind wasn't on danger. It was on her. Lyra moved gracefully beside him, examining the horizon, her eyes reflecting the shimmering light. "You saved me, human," she said softly, turning to him. "More than once. I do not know if I could have survived without your determination, mentor." "One." Jalen's chest tightened. "You make it easy to try," he replied, feeling his words more honest than he intended. "I would do anything to protect you." Lyra's gaze softened, her hand brushing against his. "And yet, you defy laws for me. Do you not fear the consequences?" Lyra's. "I do," he admitted. "But love is worth more than any law. It's worth defying the impossible." For hours, they worked to repair the shuttle's systems, scavenged materials from the moon's surface, and fortified their camp. Each task required coordination. Each challenge tested their ingenuity. And each success deepened the trust between them. They were different species, different worlds, yet somehow perfectly synchronized. One night, as the twin moons of the planet cast silver light across the valley, Jalen finally allowed himself to speak openly. "Lyra, there is something I need to tell you. When I saw your face, when your helmet dropped, I knew I couldn't let you go. I would defy every law, every rule, every expectation to be with you. I want to marry you. Marry you." Lyra's eyes widened, shimmering in the moonlight. For a moment, silence stretched between them. Then, slowly, a smile curved her lips. "You would do that? Defy every law? Risk everything? For me?" "I would," Jalen said firmly, reaching for her hand. "Nothing matters more." Lyra hesitated, then pressed her hand against his. The resolve in her voice sent a thrill through Jalen. This wasn't just survival anymore. This was a choice. A partnership forged by courage and trust. One that could challenge the very rules of the galaxy. Days passed. They explored the moon, discovering hidden caves, alien flora, and strange minerals. They learned from each other. Lyra taught Jalen about Sirene navigation and survival techniques, while Jalen showed her human engineering and problem-solving. Every lesson strengthened their bond, and every shared challenge reinforced Jalen's belief that humans could thrive anywhere, even against impossible odds. But freedom was fragile. Orbital authorities had not forgotten them. Surveillance satellites, patrol drones, and warning signals tracked them from afar. Jalen worked tirelessly, adapting the shuttle's systems to avoid detection, recalculating trajectories, and even building decoys to confuse sensors. Every maneuver showcased human ingenuity at its finest. "Your people are remarkable," Lyra said one evening, as they monitored incoming patrols. "Other species would surrender to fear. You, however, face it and turn it into advantage." Jalen smiled. "We have to survive. But surviving isn't enough. I want to protect you, to be with you. That takes more than instinct. It takes courage." Lyra's luminous eyes held his gaze. "Then, I shall follow your courage, human." The next challenge arrived unexpectedly. A Sirene enforcement vessel entered orbit around the planet, scanning the surface for unauthorized activity. Jalen's heart raced. They had limited time before the ship could detect their shuttle or camp. "We'll have to move," he said. "I've calculated a course that will take us through the asteroid belt near the outer rings of the planet. It's risky, but it's our best chance." Lyra nodded. "I trust your calculations. I trust you." With practiced precision, they prepared the shuttle for liftoff. Engines ignited, lifting them smoothly from the moon's surface. Jalen guided them through the rocky terrain, dodging natural obstacles with skill honed by years of training. Lyra handled the navigation systems, adjusting shields and thrusters to compensate for debris. Together, they maneuvered through asteroid fields, weaving past dangers with synchronized expertise. The Sirene vessel pursued them, but Jalen's ingenuity kept them ahead. Decoys, blind spots, and clever diversion maneuvers made the chase nearly impossible to follow. Every success bolstered Jalen's confidence, and every glance at Lyra reminded him why he would defy every law in the galaxy. Finally, after hours of tense flight, they emerged on the far side of the asteroid belt. The stars stretched endlessly, a canvas of freedom and possibility. Lyra exhaled, her luminous eyes reflecting relief and admiration. "Human, you are. I have never seen such bravery and ingenuity combined." Jalen's chest swelled with pride. "It's instinct, training, and maybe stubbornness. But mostly, it's because I care about you." Lyra reached for his hand again. "And I care about you, human. We are bound now." They drifted in silence, holding hands as the universe stretched around them. In that quiet, infinite space, a promise formed, a promise of survival, partnership, and love that could defy every rule in the galaxy. Days turned into weeks. Jalen and Lyra settled on a remote planet with dense forests and calm lakes, far from the eyes of authorities. They began building a life together, simple yet extraordinary. Jalen used his engineering skills to construct a home and observatory, while Lyra cultivated alien flora and shared stories of her people. Every task, every challenge, every quiet moment reinforced their partnership. But Jalen knew the laws and political pressures would not stay away forever. He decided to take a bold step, a gesture that would symbolize their bond and defiance of arbitrary rules. He built a ceremonial structure at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a lake that reflected the alien skies. It was simple, but elegant, a fusion of human design and Sirene artistry. When Lyra saw it, her eyes widened. "You built this for us?" she asked, her voice filled with wonder. "I did," Jalen replied. "A place where nothing can stop us. No law, no authority, no obstacle. Here, we are free. Here, we can marry, if you choose to." Lyra's eyes shone with emotion. She stepped closer, taking both his hands in hers. Then let us make this vow. Not because laws allow it, but because our hearts demand it. Jalen felt a surge of joy unlike anything he had ever experienced. In that moment, human courage, ingenuity, and defiance had achieved something even greater than survival. They had created love that transcended worlds. The ceremony was simple. Jalen and Lyra stood before the structure, hands entwined, the alien sky stretching endlessly above. They spoke their vows, not written by any law or tradition, but from their hearts. In that quiet, remote corner of the universe, they declared their commitment to each other, to defy rules, and to embrace the possibilities of life together. Unseen by them, distant satellites monitored, recording their defiance. And yet, even these observers seemed to pause, perhaps recognizing that what humans and Sireni had accomplished went beyond law or protocol. It was courage, ingenuity, and heart, a true testament to the best of humanity. Jalen looked at Lyra, his resolve unwavering. No matter what the universe throws at us, we will face it together. Lyra smiled, resting her hand against his chest. Together, she echoed. And in that moment, they were unstoppable. Human courage, ingenuity, and love had triumphed over fear, laws, and impossible odds. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, celebrating the union of two beings who had dared to defy the impossible. As night fell on the alien world, Jalen and Lyra sat side by side, gazing at the distant planets and stars. The future was uncertain, full of dangers and challenges, but they faced it together. And in that union, in that courage, they embodied the essence of what it meant to be human: bold, daring, inventive, and fearless in the pursuit of what truly mattered. The universe stretched endlessly before them, and Jalen knew, without doubt, that whatever laws or obstacles awaited, love and human courage would prevail.